What's going on, everybody? This is Johnny Zex. You're tuned into the Devil's Mic. Today we got a couple guys from Minds and Machines, so go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Go ahead.
Me. I'm Jesse. I'm the vocalist.
And I'm Ian. I play drums and do vocals.
Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and just get started. So how did, let's just start way back to when everything stuff began. How did everybody meet?
Like a decade ago.
Almost. It was, we'll be a band 7 years this September. And so we met in 2012, summer of 2012. I put up a Craigslist ad, and then him and our guitarist Steve put up a Craigslist ad, and we just emailed each other, and I invited him over to my place, my dad's place in Kyle here, which is where we're at right now. And we had our first practice, and yeah.
One of the few times that Craigslist works for
Yeah.
musicians.
And it's funny because we actually just met our guitarist Bryce on Craigslist too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, and it's cool because it seemed like everything was working out cool with him, so I was thinking, it's probably Craigslist, that's why.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So did y'all go looking for Bryce, or talk to us about the recent band changes? Because I know y'all originally had 5 people, and then it went down to like 4, and then now it's back up to 5, I believe. So
it was originally 5, and we had a lot of trouble in the past with keeping a lead guitarist for some reason, and we've gone through a good handful of lead guitars, maybe like 5. But we recently found Bryce on Craigslist, and great dude, he's cool, and learned everything pretty quick. And he's actually from New York. He just moved down here about a year ago.
Oh, nice.
So that was kind of a plus because he's new to like the scene and whatnot. So no one's grabbed a hold of him yet.
Yeah.
And just it came without the ego or anything as well. So he's a very humble dude, and so right now it's a 4-piece. Thursday night, when you saw us live, we had a friend of ours, an ex-guitarist actually, Hunter, fill in for us on guitar. So it's I don't know. It's mainly always been like us 3, like me, him, and Steven.
Right.
Yeah. Stuck together. Those are the original members since it started.
Right. Exactly. So, talking about that, you just have Hunter just filling in for a minute. Are y'all still looking for a rhythm guitarist, or are y'all looking to add a rhythm guitarist, or what are y'all planning to do?
It's really all over the place right now. We're kind of looking, kind of not, because we've had so much bad experience with guitarists. So like, if they don't mesh well from like the very beginning, then nah, they're probably not going to be permanent.
Right.
Just fill in.
Yeah, and it's usually worked out to where we have fill-ins for shows. As far as writing, we don't necessarily need both guitarists, but I don't know. Whatever happens. We're, like he said, we're not exactly looking, but we're not looking.
Yeah.
So if someone comes in along the way, that'd be great. If not, we'll be good. But
Y'all heard that, so look out.
Get on Craigslist.
It works apparently. So let's go ahead and talk about, whenever I was doing some research, there were words that will always represent you as a band. I don't know if it still does, but the words were "be a machine and set your mind free." So you want to talk to us about that?
Whatchamacallit, I think there's a part missing.
There was an "or" there.
Something like that. Be a machine or set your mind free. Yeah, no, that was it, right?
Oh, or.
Yeah, the or. I think what kind of generalizes the idea of this band is a lot of individuality and kind of not really following the leader, just kind of doing your own thing. And which is the case for like a lot of bands, but I don't think it's ever a bad message to like not send, and keep promoting. So as far as like Be Machine, I like our name just because Minds and Machines, I like to think of like minds like having a free thinking mind and like doing your own thing, and machines I think of like robots, like in assembly lines, and they're just being made and processed and
Programmed to think one way.
Exactly. So that's kind of the idea of the band name and what that phrase means for us. So,
okay. Right on. So with that being said, it doesn't always just reflect you guys, but like you said, it's a good message to put out to anybody doing anything to, you know, work your craft, do what you want to do, you know, use your own mind and think for yourself rather than what people tell you to think. And this kind of plays into what we're going to talk about in a little bit. So we'll go ahead and move on to just whenever you guys started, you guys kind of just hit the ground running. Just from what I've researched and everything like that, you hit the ground running with a lot of big bands in the Texas scene, you know, such as Indirections, which they're not known as Closure, but and other like Darkness Divided and things like that. Whenever y'all first started, you just hopped on the bills. And what was that like for you guys, starting out as a band and just getting on bills like that and working on getting your name out there?
We were both previously in local bands before. He and Steven were in a band called, what was it?
This Time November.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was in a couple of local bands before this one, Annie Get Your Gun and Autumn Sky. And so I think we both just did a lot of, you know, we got through our meeting people and getting in connects with certain, you know, promoters or people like that. And so when we finally found each other and did this band, we already had, you know, some intel.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, a lot of those bands you listed, Darkness and whatnot, Through Arteries and whatnot, those are really cool guys, good friends of ours still. So it was easy to hop on shows with those kinds of bands. And then from there, you know, putting on good shows, selling good amounts of tickets, you just get on bigger shows and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
but it was pretty cool. Things did hit pretty fast, and, you know, when we started. It was, I don't know, it was pretty cool. Just because we were in smaller bands before, so this was something a little bit bigger. And plus, I think when we started, that genre of metalcore was like really popular at the time. So people took to us very well.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Everybody was really feeling that music. That was like back in what, like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
And around that time, you guys did the, what's it called? The Gears That Made Us tour for y'all's first album.
Yeah.
And looking at it, do you think that was a big step and a big, I guess, promotional thing to help you guys get onto bigger bills and whatnot? Go ahead and talk to us about that.
It was a big pain in the ass, is what it was.
Yeah. Big hole in the wallet.
How long did you book that for? Like,
I
booked
had
it like in a month?
like a month. Yeah, it was all ragtag put together at the last minute because we went through a booking agent originally and paid them, and they just couldn't get any dates for us. And it was like, dude, you suck. We're gonna do this ourselves.
Right.
And like, for what it was worth, like he had a month to put it together, and you know, we practiced the sets and whatnot. You know, it was okay for like a first band's tour. You know, it was just hole in the wall places, and I think at one point at one of the shows there was literally no one there but us and the torn bands. Like, so we played for no one basically.
Right.
But it was still fun. It was a cool experience. I had my dad out there with me, and there was at one point what happened, what blew out? I forget.
The transmission of the truck.
Yeah, that was bad. That took I don't even know how or why, but my dad's dad, my grandpa, ended up sending $1,000 over, and we're not very close, so like that was very surprising. That was very cool though. So we just finished the rest of the tour, but it wasn't like, I don't think that it so much helped anything in regards of like pulling any bigger shows or anything like that. I think it just kind of gave us our foot in the water, the experience that, you know, what tour is.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Just to use
Big learning experience.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll probably never do something like that again in a month's time. We'll probably be good.
Yeah, it was like no promo, no nothing. Like, yep, we're going out for like a week and a half, almost 2. And they're like, oh, nobody knows.
Yeah.
It was pretty DIY looking at the way the posts were on Instagram and everything like that. So I'm sure that was pretty tough. But I mean,
The first show though of it, because we started in Austin. The first show was really cool. That was a pretty big show. Yeah. Other than that, all the shows were
We left on a good note and a good feeling, and then it just went down.
It was cool though. It was what it was, you know.
It was fun.
It was fun, you know.
Like being together for that long with nothing else except the music and playing it.
Yeah.
Really put your mind on something to actually set a goal towards being able to do that full time while, being financially stable. So we'll see what happens. Now, before we hop into anything else, I want to talk about a couple of shows that you did do. There were a couple of church shows in Waco, Texas. So with that, do you guys consider yourself like a Christian metalcore band, or
No, not really. I wouldn't. I mean, like I'm Christian myself, but I don't really bring any of my personal beliefs into the band, just because not that I frown against that, but there's just so much controversy surrounding all of that nowadays where it just gets really messy. But no, I never tried pushing that into the band at all, And I know there's like some lyrics of ours that might give people that idea, like in Sleepless, but it's not to be taken as, we're a Christian band.
This is what we are.
Yeah.
Because it also, it won't just go towards just Christianity in general, but just to anybody's life, really. If you listen to the lyrics and the songs and the music, it's very powerful, it's very uplifting, it gives people that, that drive to get through hard times and things like that. So, it's pretty cool that it's not labeled as this is what we are, this is more of a for anybody type deal.
Comes from a place of positivity is what I got from it.
Yeah, it's like our first EP, the Gears That Turn Us, it was about uplifting and overcoming, and then with Sleepwalker, it was more of like, it's a really sad album. That's what I always tell people. It's more about going through those things and not knowing whether or not you'll come out okay at the end, but just rather experiencing, bad times.
Definitely.
So, but there is some kind of, it's funny because the music kind of contradicts it, because the music sounds like uplifting and whatnot. But
we can talk more about that in a minute too. So back to the shows and the tours and those that y'all been on. We saw y'all been on South by So What. You appeared on Vans Warped Tour. You toured with Alisana, Chelsea Grin, Escape the Fate. What was the other one? Yeah. And a bunch of other big bands. Tell us about the South by So What and the Vans Warped Tour experience.
Where did we play first? Warped Tour.
I have no idea. I think it was South by So What?
No, it was 2014, and then South by was 15.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We,
a long time ago.
I know, we enrolled in the contest, the Ernie Ball contest for locals to, promote voting for them basically. And the weekend came where they announced the bands, but we weren't on it. A couple of our friends were, but we were like, oh, that's cool, next year. And then I think like 2 days before the actual date of Warped Tour that was coming through, our guitarist got a call and was like, hey, you guys are playing, we'll need you here at this time, blah, 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 give us information. Called all of us, we all spread it around, and it was insane really, because we didn't think we won it at all, so when we did, we got the call, it was super insane. So
me, Geraldo, and Steven all had jobs, and I think we all worked that day, and we're like, nope.
Yeah, they all just like, yeah. So that was fun. As far as like, so what? There was another battle. It was like a battle of the bands kind of thing at the Dirty Dog in Austin on 6th Street, and we ended up winning that, which was really weird because there were some really good bands that night. So we really didn't expect to win. But the judge said our name, and we were still like in very much of a disbelief.
I only thought there was one band that was really close to us, and I thought they had it. I thought their choreography and this whole set was on point.
Was it the Titan?
Yeah.
It was our friends, good local friends of ours. They disbanded a while ago, but taking on the Titan, who were in the contest as well. And those guys they were really good, back in the day. So we thought for sure that they had it in the bag, but. Yeah.
Yeah. And y'all played with them too, like a couple shows here and there. So.
Yeah.
And so now we're just going to go ahead and hop into the music. All right, we'll start back with the Gears That Turn Us. So with that EP, let's go more in depth into the story behind the writing process and how all the songs combined make that EP.
Yeah.
So go
It's funny, the very first practice, because the first practice consisted of me, Steven, and this one guy, an old friend of theirs, who ended up not lasting too long, more than like a month maybe.
Yeah.
It's before we even did anything, so I really don't ever count it. But after that, the practice after that, it was everyone. He was there, so it was me, Steven, their friend Christian, our old bassist Geraldo, and Steven. And in that first practice, we wrote Underestimated, which was our debut single. And then as far as writing the other songs,
Tragedy was next.
yeah, Tragedy Kept Its Promise, and then so forth. I ended up bringing a friend of mine from a past local band that I was in to come play guitar, Zen, and he helped us write the other two songs, Making of a Martyr and Reflections of Memories. And then we wrote all that in a time span of maybe like 2-3 months, and then we went to go record them.
It was really fast.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, we hit the ground running.
We had
so.
recorded 2 of them and had those, and then we went and did the other 2.
Yeah, we did like 2 sessions. So that EP took 2 sessions. We went and record 2 songs, and then a month later went and record the next 2. So, but yeah, as far as like the writing process for those, I mean, that was back whenever like we all got together and like try to hammer out songs, which is like really weird. It's kind of hard to do that now. I'm much rather go into like writing ourselves and bringing our ideas together. But yeah, I mean, it was just really fast experience.
Those first 2 songs were really hard
Yeah.
on me because I was still learning the lyrics that I had written and like the flow, how I wanted to do it. But what ended up happening, I had figured it all out in the studio. So I was like, it's gonna go like this. It didn't go like that. But it cool.
Yeah, it was at the beginning of the band, everything seemed to be very just like last minute, super quick and last minute. So
It happens, but it really helped out, like as far as like getting that momentum started and trying to maintain that momentum. So
yeah.
now with the Reflections as Memory song, or Reflections as Memories, I'm sorry, you worked with Corey Brunneman with Through Arteries.
Yeah.
What was that process like? I know you said y'all wrote the lyrics, but how was it, writing lyrics with his input, or was it just lyrics you already had and like this is how
We worked with him throughout the CD. He helped us write a lot of parts, and he was really cool. He like gave him input on like guitar, on vocals, lyrics. Yeah, he wrote that feature part.
Oh.
Yeah, the guest vocal part. Yeah, we had the lyrics. He just wrote the melody.
Yeah.
We just told him, just here's the lyrics, do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it's super awesome to work. It's really stress relieving working with him. Like, it's a little intimidating because he's such a great musician and writer. So working with him is like, it's like good enough, but it's really stress relieving too because he really brings like the best out of your songs. Like you go in with like a scrap of a song and he really just polishes it up. So that first CD working with him, it was cool. I remember it was a little awkward at the beginning because I knew him personally, because we played together beforehand, shows and whatnot. And then it was like their first time meeting him, so like, we had to break that barrier of like, meeting and whatnot, but it all came out really cool. He's super big help with us. Definitely developing our sound early on, yeah.
Helping out, having an outside input on what you guys already had planned. The single that was released back in August of 2014. But it looks like, it was a while back.
Yeah.
So it was recorded with Chris at Warhorse Recordings. I guess the vocals were recorded with Corey at Alchemist, right?
Yeah.
And so what I want to know about this, was this supposed to be a part of an EP or an album that was never released, or what's the story behind that single release?
So we had our guitarist, Zen, who later quit. He just got into different style music, so he ended up leaving, and we brought in a guy that we found over Facebook. His name's Jacob, and we wrote that single with him. And we were due for some new music at the time anyway, so we were just like, let's just do a single, Went in and did it with Chris Mora, who was a part of Darkness Divided, who now plays for Charcoal Tongue. But whatchamacallit, yeah, we just went, where does he live? Like deep into San Antonio.
Yeah,
I don't even know where in San Antonio. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we recorded it in a day. Like all the music we recorded in a day. We did vocals there too, But the thing about recording with Corey versus anyone else really is that Corey is a vocalist himself. So vocals are like his prime, like he knows what he's doing with that kind of stuff. So we ended up scrapping the first vocal takes and we went and redid it with him. That's why it's recorded in different places. But and then Corey ended up mixing and mastering, which was actually the plan when we went to do the single with Chris. So yeah, it was a cool little single for its time.
Right. So that was just like something that you just wanted to put out as far as just like, you know, hey, we're still working on music.
Yeah.
We're still here.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
we're just trying to stay consistent with, you know, putting music out and whatnot, which didn't happen for too long afterwards after that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because the next one was released almost 3 years later.
Yeah.
The Sleepwalker, which is the most recent EP or album, released back recently in December. So that one was produced by Kendall Davis. You worked with Nick Matthews of Get Scared for the Expectancy Effect, Christina Murphy of Forever Starts Today. What was it like as far as the creative process working with those two, as opposed to working with anybody else? Like, how did y'all come together as far as making those two songs with each person?
Both of those vocals really didn't have any kind of actual contact with like making the songs at all. It was so we Nick from Get Scared, our producer, who so hold on one sec. There's a lot of missing parts. So Corey Bruneman actually recorded all of Sleepwalker.
Okay.
And afterwards we ended up, because he booked upon a Burning Body, like soon after as soon as we left the studio. So he was super busy, so we didn't want to take the time to like wait for the songs to get back to us. So we took the songs and had Kendall Davis mix, master, help produce the rest of the parts and everything. And we got in touch with Nick from Get Scared through Corey, because they're friends. And as far as like us and Nick, I was really the only one in contact with him. We text back and forth about the music, the song, the band, and all the lyrics were written by us. And same thing kind of that we did with Corey. We just gave him the lyrics, and actually, you know what? I actually did kind of have a little bit. I did give him a pattern of like how to do the vocals, but after a few videos sent back and forth, he sent us the song back with his vocal stuff. I don't even know where he lives. I think maybe like LA or Florida or something like that.
That's awesome.
But and then as far as Christina, we were already in the studio with Kendall at this time, because her part was kind of like, man, she recorded her part maybe like a month before the CD was supposed to come out. So she was in the studio with me and Kendall, and we already knew how it was going to be done, so I just kind of, pointed out how to do it, gave her the lyrics, and she did it, and she kicked ass on it. It's a really cool part.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All flows together. Now, going into making this album, what was the mindset whenever you were going into recording Sleepwalker?
The mindset, man, I think we were just very eager to put out new music.
we were really eager because it had been a long time, and we wanted to put like what we felt into it, because I think all of us were going through shit.
Yeah,
or had gone through shit.
Yeah, within those 3 years of not releasing music, we went through a lot of, a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And so, and the idea of that name, Sleepwalker, comes from something kind of personal for me at the time. I was dealing with a lot of depression. It was keeping me from sleeping, and I'd stay up throughout the entire night just thinking of just terrible scenarios and just everything I was going through. So just kind of metaphor that into like Sleepwalker, but yeah, it was just about kind of just finally taking the stress off of us and putting them into our music,
And
And
it's like a vent album.
Yeah, like a vent album. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just kind of releasing all of that into our music, and of course, like you said earlier, eager to put it out because we hadn't put out music for so long.
Exactly. So it also helps too, because it gives you that outlet to, because if you're at work, you can't really let it out there. But if you have your own music or art, whatever you can do, you just let it all out, do whatever you got to do, and you can hear it in the song, you can feel it. So
That's sick.
y'all check it out, Sleepwalker. So now, in Sleepwalker, the Expectancy Effect, Now, it was originally supposed to be screamed, but it was decided to be sung. And
Yeah.
so talk to us about that. Why was that?
The
chorus.
Yeah. I was writing the song and I had a rough draft and I was showing them at practice. And when I was showing them, I was kind of like showing them in scream, like I was like screaming this part. And then he kind of heard a melody as I was doing it. And so he was like, wait, no, you should do this. And then like that's how the melody kind of came about. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't even like think about that at all. So yeah, it was a total accident, kind of, in a way. But yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good. So, I found that out through research. So, not knowing that, it sounds like that's just what it's been playing all the time. So,
yeah.
Now, with as far as recording and music videos, who did y'all do y'all's music video for the Expectancy Effect with?
He's a freelance video director in Austin. His name's Brandon. What's his last name?
Hall.
Brandon Hall, thank you.
Or Timekeeper.
Or Timekeeper Media, that'll be the more appropriate if you want to check him out. He's
Definitely.
We were his first music video. He had just started like his production and we were his first music video, and ever since he's just gotten way better, like just better and better and better after every video he's done. But we did it with him, and the video was shot at my dad's place in the house, and yeah.
Yeah, it's very well put together. You wouldn't even know that that's his first music video.
Oh yeah, definitely. He did it.
Check him out. What was his name? Brandon Hall?
Brandon Hall at Timekeeper Media. Yeah.
Alright, so now music's done. Let's go ahead and just hop back. Just as far as personally, your influences. Now, let's go ahead and talk about, other than rock music and everything like that, what other music are you guys into, man?
Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth? All-star.
Yeah. Ever since Shrek, you know.
Oh my god.
What was the question?
Like, as far as like musical influences outside of rock and metal music.
Like specific ones, or like just out different genres?
Yeah, different genres. It don't matter.
Different genres.
Just like, who do you use as influences as far as your musical aspects go?
It's mostly rock when I want to, because that's what I connected most with. I guess some rap, just because like Linkin Park kind of bridged it. And I was like, okay, rap's pretty cool. Maybe I'll look into real rap.
Sure.
Eminem is cool. I like he sounds angry all the time.
Yeah, that's why I like Eminem too. So.
Yeah.
You can feel him. You know, on a lot of rappers like that. Other than that, it's mostly rock. And Warren rock, J-rock is cool. Japanese rock is cool.
Yeah.
I think that's it for me. Like alternative, classic rock, metal. It all comes together.
Good.
But then when I started to want to make music, I was listening to like screamo, emo, and then metalcore. So that's what I put into it.
Right.
As far as for me, I think I really my parents are super big into music as well. So I kind of grew up on like hair metal, so like Aerosmith and Poison and stuff like that.
Def Leppard.
Yeah. So that was kind of my introduction into music, and my parents, back when I was little, the only way I had music was through them. So like my mom would listen to like Jennifer Lopez albums and the Dixie Chicks and stuff, and then my dad more into the rock, so like Metallica and stuff like that. And as far as like personal now, outside of like, you know, all the heavy music, I'd probably listen to Lana Del Rey the most.
Oh, nice.
And probably The Weeknd.
Yeah.
To me, those are probably my two favorite artists that have come out the last 10 years, because they just put out really good music, you know.
Definitely.
And as for inspiration for the band's music,
I got a lot of those.
yeah, we all have like very different ones, and they just kind of somehow mash together. Like I'm super into like Motionless in White and Skylar Drive, and I don't know what really Steven's kind of all over the place. Like We Can
Pop
Pop
Punk. Pop
Yeah,
punk.
you know what? Steven's
Pop
like
punk.
Steven's the pop punk element of the band, and it's really funny because it flows so well. Like, so when he's singing, like, it just sounds great. Like with the
Poppy choruses.
Yeah, sounds good.
And it's funny because I mean, there was this one time when we were looking for a guitarist. I had gotten in contact with this guy. We were texting back and forth, and he seemed interested. And then at one point, he was like, "Actually, on the second thought, never mind," because I went back and listened. You guys really like to get like poppy and emo, and I was like, "Okay."
All right.
Damn it, Steven.
Yeah, right. But no, just kidding. Now, as far as like record label and everything like that, currently signed anybody yet? Or?
No. We had a small deal back in like 2013 with a very
Crap label.
crappy indie label. Yeah, but other than that, nothing of the sort.
Yeah, it's good that you don't just hop in the first thing that you get because
Yeah.
something that might come down along the line. Now, as far as recently, has anybody reached out to you, or you reach out to anybody, or how's that been?
I've only known of one smaller label that kind of reached out. I already forget the name of it.
Or something.
Yeah, I forget. I really do forget. But we emailed back and forth a little bit. But it just looking at their roster and looking what they, because of course we're gonna go look at what they do for their bands. Just didn't seem worth it. It wasn't anything that we couldn't do ourselves. And rather just paying someone to do nothing. Just
Exactly.
So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Now, moving on into the future, any new music, any dates or time frames for any new music as of right now? Or?
As of right now, no, we don't have anything set. We're currently writing music right now, and
Okay.
we just got Bryce, and so I'm super excited to start writing with him and see what he brings to the table because he likes more of the like August Burns Red, Kill Switch kind of guitar work, and which is super cool because I feel like that would really fit us really well.
Definitely.
So I'm super stoked to start writing music with him. But that's what we're trying to do right now. Like I demoed out a couple of things. And we're just working on that right now, but nothing set in particular yet.
Okay. Now, any future tour dates or shows that you want to mention?
No, it's at the moment not right now. That show that we just had this past Thursday was our first show back in 10 months. So we all took a small break just because we were all dealing with things. I just moved out and whatnot. So we put shows on hold for a little bit, and we booked this one, and so we'll just see what happens, who reaches out, and what's coming through. I've been trying to book us a little bit more out of town recently.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, we'll talk about that. All right, so I mean that's pretty much all we got. I mean,
Cool.
So be sure to check out Sleepwalker. It's out on iTunes, Spotify. Y'all got Bandcamp or anything like that? Amazon, is it on Amazon?
Amazon, yeah.
Amazon Music. So go check it out. Pop it in the headphones, jam out, or headphones. I said headphones. Excuse me. Anyway, so pop it in the headphones. Let us know what you think. Go check them out. Let them know what you think. And follow them on social media. What is your social media?
Go ahead.
Like personal or band?
Oh, band.
Band?
Yeah, band Instagram is Minds and Machines,
Yeah.
and then Facebook, Minds and Machines, with the ampersand on Facebook. And yeah.
Any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Fuck you, Stephen, for not being able to for not being able to cheese nuts. Yeah.
So that's all we got today. Again, this is Johnny X. You're tuned into the Devil's Mic, Minds and Machines. Thanks again.